Hello, Mark from Teacharium here. Today, we're going to look at the grid system and how you can form layouts within your steps. So I have a brand new lesson here with an empty step. When I open that up and go over to the options on the right, I'll see this grid layout button. If I click that, it'll open up the grid layout editor. Now the grid is conceptually based on a 12 by 12 grid. By default, you have one cell that takes up all of that space. If I click and drag here, I can draw different size cells. So let's say I wanted to make one horizontal row across the whole top, and then maybe I want to make a couple columns in the next row. And then finally one more full width row underneath it. Now, instead of having the one cell to place components in, I'm going to have the 5 different cells. Let's save that and see what it looks like. Here we are. So from there, I can go to my Components tab, and I can drag components into the different cells. I could still add multiple components to each of these cells. But this gives me a really easy way to define and set up how all those components lay out and are related to each other. If I make another step, I can see that if I open up the Generate Step AI tool, I can use this to make my layouts as well. So here I'm going to tell the AI to create a layout with a header. Then under that, 3 columns, each with a chart in it. Then under that, 2 columns with a text and an MCQ question. When I click the Generate button, the agent will get to work making that happen. And here we are. I got my 3 charts, I got my question, and my multiple choice question next to it. If I save that, I'll have it in my step editor, and I could go ahead and edit it and change it however I like. There are a couple options related to the grid. You notice that there's a little bit of space between the different cells. That's the gap here. So if I wanted to make that smaller or bigger, I could also set borders for the cells to be able to visually see them. So here I'll set a visual border with kind of a blue color and save that. And now the learner would see all of those borders. If I come to my components, I'll notice there is a grid layout here. You can actually take that grid layout and put it within one of these cells and have a separate grid. And that lets you have different options for borders and gaps and that sort of stuff. Hopefully this grid layout system will help you make some really beautiful lessons. Thanks a lot for watching.